Welcome back to Salem Stadium in Rochester, New York. There is your halftime score presented by Panasonic Tough Pad. It's a romp so far for the United States. Some substitutions have been made, as we would expect in a friendly international. And there they are, a trio of them. Becky Sauerbrunn, a central defender, will come in for Rachel Buehler. Heather O'Reilly will make her 171st appearance. She put the cross in for the famous Morgan goal against Canada. She's in for Shannon Box. And Heather Mitz, number 2, just out of your screen, replaces Amy Lepelbet at right back. So Heather O'Reilly looking to add to her 34 international goals. A 3-time gold medal winner. Becky Sauerbrunn got into action in the London Games. Actually played 10 minutes in the final for Rachel Buehler. And for Heather Mitz, 128 international appearances for her now. So is it a question of how many for the United States in this second half? Miranda, the goalkeeper for Costa Rica, has been absolutely terrific. Here's a substitute at half-time for Costa Rica, Mayra Almazan. Early pressure being exerted here by the United States. Alex Morgan hungry for goals. 1 already this afternoon. 2 for Abby Wambach on her home turf. There's a drive, there's a slice this time from Alex Morgan. 2 goals for Megan Rapinoe as well. She looks happy with life, Alex Morgan.
Rachel Buehler. Entering the game, number 2, Heather Mitz.
Mariela Campos.
Number 4, Becky
Forward it goes to Raquel Rodriguez of Penn State. She scored 8 international goals, comfortably the leading scorer in international soccer in this youthful Costa Rican side. Wambach, first time ball, Alex Morgan just beaten to it by Miranda. The flag is up on the far side. And there's the substitute for Costa Rica. Mayra Almazan is into the game. Barantes has come out. She attends the University of California, Santa Barbara, hometown of La Puente in California. She attends South Hills High School, just 18 years of age.
Well, again, just such a great opportunity for these players to test themselves against the best in the world.
O'Reilly. Sauerbrunn. Tobin Heath. Diagonal ball to Megan Rapinoe. Uncharacteristic miscontrol from Rapinoe. Onto her favoured right foot. Cross goes into the near post. Costa Rica can bring it clear through Campos. Dwelling in possession, but tidies up nicely. Deanna Sainz. Challenge from Carly Lloyd is unlawful. It's a free kick to Costa Rica. I asked Carly Lloyd yesterday about that second goal that she scored, the 2-goal performance in the gold medal match, the 2-1 victory over Japan. The move was terrific. She picked up the ball around about the halfway line and just set off down the center of the field. She said she was waiting to play in Abby Wambach or Alex Morgan, who'd peeled away to the flanks making runs. That took defenders with them. She said it wasn't as good as her strike against France in the opening match of the Olympic Games, but it was pretty sweet. Then she disappeared, sprinting away towards the bench.
What I love,
pure joy.
Arlo, was the quote from Pia Sundhage at the end of the tournament saying, "I love when players prove me wrong," and that's what Carly Lloyd did with an incredible tournament.
She started off on the bench. It was Lauren Cheney who was preferred in that attacking central midfield role. Cheney had a good Olympics, but when Shannon Box was injured with a hamstring problem after 17 minutes of the opening game, in came Carly Lloyd, and an attacking 2 in the center of the park. Carly Lloyd, though, had a new role of defensive midfielder. Here's a possibility here for Andrade for Costa Rica. They're still in the attack. Long clearance here by O'Hara, but she miscues. Rodriguez in pursuit of this one. Heather Mitts presents the corner kick, but it's a throw into Costa Rica. So it's a new role for Carly Lloyd. I think she was happy to be on the field for the United States, having spent so much time on the bench before the games. And then when Shannon Box came in for that gold medal match, she was released into her more preferred role of attacking central midfield. And then she scored the 2 goals. 4 in total in the tournament. And she scored the last 3 goals in finals. The last player to score a goal in the gold medal match for the United States was Abby Wambach back in 2004, the extra time winning goal against Brazil. The last 3 have been scored in 08 and 12 by Carly Lloyd. Little tug on the shirt of Sauerbrunn. Play on, says the referee. Here's Rampone. Kelly O'Hara.
You got to give credit to Costa Rica. They've come out in the second half and tried to high press the United States a little bit. They want to try to get back into this game. They're not simply looking to minimize the damage.
Abby Wambach battling away. And she's fouled. Free kick to the United States, taken quickly by Rapinoe, but it's about 10 yards away from the incident itself, and we'll have to go back. She just released Heather O'Reilly down the left-hand side.
When Pia Sundhage covered her face with her hands after that one, she wanted to see more goals. You know, I've been watching her, looking over my shoulder to her to my left during this game, and I have never seen a coach enjoy a game as much as she does. It's almost as if she feels like she's out there. She mimics the movements. She gets excited when the play builds up and she can see a chance is coming.
She told us yesterday, yes, it was pure joy for us, not redemption. She said as the coach, she always had to plan for each game tactically. But that's a typical scene, a vision there of Pia Sundhage with a broad smile on her face. Here come the United States, deep cross, but into the side netting. And a goal kick to Costa Rica. She said she survived the hurt of 2011 and that World Cup final defeat to Japan because they played so well in the final. It gave her plenty of encouragement going forward. 2 gold medal winning performances for the United States under Pia Sundhage. She went home to Sweden. Who knows, that's maybe where she is going to end up now, back at home in charge of the Swedish national team. Free kick to the United States. She said it was crazy when she went home. She said yes to every interview. She said it was my moment. I was going to enjoy it. But I think that life on the road has probably got to Pia Sundhage, and she wants to go home for a spell. Sweden hosting the European Championships for them. She was a terrific player as well in her time with the Swedish national team. Rapinoe with the free kick. Plenty of curl on that one. Wambach is in the open. 8 yards out, and that ball is still in play. Mitts tries to hook it into the penalty area, fails to do so. And Wambach, a wry smile. No, she perhaps should have done better.
Well, she gets wide open. She gets ahead of it a little bit. You can see right there, she tries to hold her run up. She just doesn't read the curve of the ball and the flight of the ball. Got a little ahead of herself and tried to stop and snap the header back, and you can see her smile a little bit. She knows she can do better than that.
Pia Sundhage said earlier on it was an honor to be able to coach these players for 5 years. She says that she learned a tremendous amount from them. She announced it in a team meeting this morning at 10:15. I understand there was a standing ovation for her from her players. She said she always admired the spirit and character of the US team, but to experience that firsthand on the training field and from the bench as their coach was truly special. She says she'll treasure that for the rest of her life.
I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier, Arlo, with, you know, the travel and being away from home, being tough on her. I think one of the big reasons she might take that Sweden job is the challenge of taking that team to the next level, because they're right on the cusp.
Campos slides it into the penalty area, looking for the run of Christine Granados. More challenges ahead for Pia Sundhage, and she'll be fondly remembered. Substitution about to be made for the United States. Amy Rodriguez coming into the game, and actually Hope Solo is being replaced as well by Jill Lloyden. Huge applause for Hope Solo. Lloyden was the reserve goalkeeper during the Olympic Games, but Nicole Barnhart has had a knee scope since the game, so she's not available today. A quiet afternoon for Hope Solo. And Megan Rapinoe comes off as well. 2 goals for her this afternoon. She's replaced by Amy Rodriguez. 94th international appearance for Rodriguez. She scored 5 goals in a single game in the Olympic qualifiers against the Dominican Republic. Matched a record set by Michelle Akers. Sydney Larou did it during the same tournament as well. And Brandy Chastain. Herrera drives it, long range. It's blocked by Carly Lloyd. Daniela Cruz. And a first touch here for Jill Lloyd. 27 years old. From New Jersey, 3rd choice goalkeeper of the 2011 World Cup as well. It's only her 3rd international appearance. Well, Hope Solo's been hogging that position between the sticks for a long time now. And to great effect. Sauerbrunn. Alvarado, looking for the substitute Mayra Almazan. Good day's work for Megan Rapinoe. Sauerbrunn made 3 appearances during the Olympic Games, including in the final. Wambach, Carly Lloyd. First time ball through to Heather O'Reilly. Here's a possibility for the United States. O'Reilly on her left foot, drives it, and it's a yard over the bar. She's so full of energy, Carl. You know exactly what you're going to get with Heather O'Reilly, don't you? Direct play, very skillful.
Well, she's got terrific pace, and she likes to stay wide, but makes a great diagonal inside run. One touch, gets her head up, ball's bouncing a little bit on that surface. Tries to get it back across the goal. Her angle got worse as that ball was drifting wide. But a good run from Heather O'Reilly, who came off the bench and, as you said earlier, had that huge assist. And that's one of the things Pia talked about before the Olympics, is how important the bench was going to be, and she was right.
She's been in the side since a 17-year-old, Heather O'Reilly. Here's Rodriguez. O'Reilly didn't appear in the 2012 gold medal match, but she did play in the gold medal games in 2004 and 2008. She actually scored the quickest ever women's soccer goal in the Olympic Games against New Zealand, just 42 seconds into a match. Here's O'Hara. First time from Morgan. Heavy touch from Lloyd. Throw into the United States. Costa Rica will be delighted with the way the first 11 minutes have gone here in the second half, trailing by 5-0. The 15-year-old Herrera infield to Granados. Advancing here is Raquel Rodriguez towards the edge of the area. Rodriguez from Penn State. Herrera, low drive. Lloyd unable to save comfortably. That'll build a bit of confidence in the Costa Rican ranks.
Well, they got some numbers forward. They kept the ball. When they're clean with those first 2 passes, they can beat the U.S. line of pressure. The United States are pushing a lot of numbers forward, but when they give that ball up easily, it's just trouble for them all day long.
Here's Heather Mitts. Tobin Heath, maybe the closing stages of Heather Mitts' career. A 3rd gold medal for her as well, 34 years old. Hinted on Twitter before the games that this may be hit for her. She made 1 appearance during the London Games against Colombia. Played 90 minutes in a shutout for the United States. 128 internationals. Started all 6 games at the victorious 2008 Olympics. An unused substitute in the 2004 final. Daniela Cruz. Raquel Rodriguez. Decent through ball to the substitute Almazan. Lloyd was quickly off her line. Costa Rica starting to grow in confidence to play some soccer here, to force themselves on the game, on the Olympic gold medalists. Liana Sainz, pressured by Alex Morgan.
Well, that's one of the things this young Costa Rican team is going to learn from this game, is how quickly you have to make decisions against the best teams in the world. You don't have a lot of time on the ball. You have to keep it when you win it after running so much.
Paula Aleman, the coach of Costa Rica. Wambach. Miscues, more energy here from Costa Rica. Alvarado. Through it goes, and that's a foul on the edge of the penalty area by Heather Mitz on Kristin Granados. Free kick to Costa Rica, an opportunity some 19 yards away from goal. Possibilities here for the visitors. Alvarado may choose to strike this one.
And you have
Number 10,
Rodriguez as well, who's very good on set pieces. Maybe two options there.
He's the leading international scorer, Rodriguez, in this squad. Alvarado now all alone, has 3 international goals. Plays for the Saprissa club in San Jose, Costa Rica. She's rejoined by Penn State's Raquel Rodriguez, number 11. Ibanez, the referee, just ensuring the wall is back 10 yards. 4 US players in there. Alvarado strikes it, just clips the top of the wall and goes over. It's the first corner kick of the game for Costa Rica. We're trying to find some consolation in this game in Rochester, New York, with less than half an hour remaining. Scored against Canada, Alvarado, in the 2008 Under-17s World Cup. Lloyd in between the posts for the United States. Corner kick from Granados. Deep service. Christy Rampone there battling at the back stick with the substitute for Costa Rica, Mayra Almazan. Here come the United States again. Carly Lloyd. O'Reilly wants it in the penalty area. Lloyd's got a sight set on goal here. Still Carly Lloyd. Is this a moment for the United States? And just at the crucial moment, she got underneath it. And for now, there's no repeat of those heroics at Wembley Stadium in the gold medal match.
Well, great strength here to get by the first challenge, and with that fast surface, you can see how the ball rolls with her, stays with her pace. Defender comes at her, bubbles up, and she doesn't even take a look at Heather O'Reilly in the middle. She's thinking one thing, shoot, and the better option was Heather O'Reilly, but at 5-0, looks like she just wants to join the fun.
She told us yesterday, I'm not leaving that field without a gold medal. That was her thought during the second half. Header forward, Abby Wambach is offside. Flag came up on the far side of the ground. 2 goals so far for Abby Wambach. Back at her hometown of Rochester, New York. Fresh from the opening of Wambach Way outside of Salem Stadium here. The United States have this remarkable record when she scores in the first half of games. 56-0-1. Soon to be 57-0-1. They've only lost 2 games in 101 when she scores a goal. A remarkable, remarkable record. What a talisman to have, Abby Wambach. 27 goals in her last 30 internationals now. Rodriguez. That was blocked by Sauerbrunn. Alex Morgan drives it through, looking for the run of Tobin Heath. It was well read by Daniela Cruz. Ball over the top, looking for Herrera, the 15-year-old. Here's Amy Rodriguez. Turns with purpose. Looking for support. There's some tired legs out there for the United States. Tobin Heath. 3 assists for her at the Olympic Games. Rampone. Mitz. Costa Rica about to make another substitution. So Melissa Herrera will never forget today. The 15-year-old is being withdrawn, and here comes Mariana Benavides, a 17-year-old. Born the day after Christmas Day on 1994. Played for the Costa Rica under-20s against the USA in a CONCACAF tournament in March. And she's into the action here. Carly Lloyd. Amy Rodriguez. On the overlap is Kelly O'Hara. Still Rodriguez. O'Reilly, she's going to have a drive. Low, and it got into the body of Miranda. But wide it goes. Should we give the goalkeeper the benefit of the doubt on that one, Kyle?
After today, I think so.
Maybe she watched it wide.
Well, she's come up with some magnificent saves. Heather O'Reilly again tucking into the middle. No one stepping out on her. And she's got a great strike on her. And we're going to say she let that one go wide.
Lloyd battling for possession in the midfield for the United States. Becky Sauerbrunn, Christy Rampone. You'd think she'd be the first off the field when a central defensive change is made, Rampone, at the age of 37, but none of it. 22 Olympic appearances for her. That's a US record. She started 22 of the last 23 games since the 2000 games, since the start of the Sydney Olympics, in fact. Only rested for one of those matches. Match against Australia in 2004 in the Athens games. Rampone with the clearance up towards Wambach. Ulgardi sends it back into the United States penalty area. Carly Lloyd tidying up on the edge. O'Hara to Amy Rodriguez. Thrown to the United States. Kate Marcraft, part of our broadcast team today, former US international, twice an Olympic gold medalist. Kate, you played a lot of your career with Christy Rampone. What an extraordinary servant she's been to US soccer.
Absolutely, and the amazing thing about Rampone is that she actually got better after pregnancy. A lot of us kind of declined and never regained form, but that new sense of perspective that children bring, all of a sudden she has this confidence. She was always probably the best defender after Joy Fawcett had left, and then she just took it to a whole nother level with 1v1s, and then they moved into the center, and she really took responsibility for leading this back line and leading this team.
Those two children, thank you, Kate, Reese and Riley, were at the Olympic Games traveling with Christy Rampone. She's the only member of the 1999 World Cup winning squad to still be active and playing for the national team. She was a mere pup, 24 years old, on that famous day at the Rose Bowl Pasadena, that penalty kicks victory, courtesy of the winning strike from Brandy Chastain, the victory over China. Here's Rodriguez. Low cross comes into the penalty area. Opportunity here for Costa Rica. It's still there for them. Granada saved by Lloyd. Terrific save. What an opportunity for Kristen Granados to put Costa Rica on the scoreboard, but the substitute goalkeeper comes up big for the United States.
Yes.
Well, as this ball comes through, it's right back at the penalty spot, deflects and drops right down to the floor, and what a great save from Lloyd. And she just comes, makes herself big, doesn't hesitate. As that ball drops down to Granados, she doesn't take a beat. She gets right out there, makes herself big. Good save.
Best opportunity of the game so far for Costa Rica, but they trail by 5-0. All 5 strikes in the first half here in Rochester. Sydney Larou, we're going to see her soon. This should be exciting. She'll inject a lot of pace and energy into this US side. Scored a goal in the Olympic tournament in the quarter-final against New Zealand. Heather O'Reilly. To the byline she goes. Here comes the cross. It comes in towards Morgan. It's a good header clear. Ulgardi concedes the corner. And I think Abby Wambach's day is done. And just listen to the reaction if number 14 is held up. They may decide to do it after the corner here. There's an opportunity for Wambach to maybe register a hat-trick. And I think that is happening. Sydney Larou will have to be patient. What a moment it will be for Abby Wambach to register a hat-trick on home turf. She's at the back post. Here comes the corner. Wambach is the target. It's a flicked header in the end. Here's Tobin Heath. Elaborate skill from her, but the chance is lost for the United States. Costa Rica coming away with it. Granados, who had that opportunity a few moments ago. And here's some space for Campos to gallop into. But wouldn't you know it, Christy Rampone sprints across, covering beautifully.
Well, it's so great, Arlo, when you have a center back that has pace like that and reads the game well. You know, a lot of times you either have a center back that's up there in age and doesn't cover a lot of ground but has great understanding of the game, takes great angles, or a center back that has tremendous speed and makes up for it. She has both of those.
Heather Mitz, he switched to left back. Rodriguez with a deep service, and Miranda was there just ahead of Wambach. Just stuck out a hand, a crucial palm at a crucial moment, and Wambach denied the hat-trick. I think they're trying to serve Abby Wambach here. Sydney Larou just in front of you, Kyle, on the sideline, hands behind her back, waiting to get in. I think she understands here that maybe Wambach has been given a few minutes to try and register this third goal. Forward it goes from Sauber towards Wambach. Headed in the wrong direction this time, and here's Rodriguez. Almazan. Campos. Alvarado. Is the right back Deanna Seitz. Dispossessed by Rodriguez. Still Amy Rodriguez. Now Alex Morgan has it. Wambach peels away towards the edge of the penalty area. Morgan's going for the line here. This will be dramatic if Wambach can score, and in the end, Morgan gets to the byline but just couldn't get the centre in. She gets a thumbs up from Abby Wambach, but I think that's it for her today. And she's going to milk the applause. Abby Wambach out of the game. Sydney Larou in. 2 goals. And they're on the feet at Sahlen Stadium. Wonderful reception for Abby Wambach, and here's an exciting talent. 22-year-old Sydney Larou. 8 goals for her in international soccer in 18 appearances. It was her first gold medal, of course, at London 2012. Almazan attacking here for Costa Rica. Heather Mitz back and ushers the ball out of play.
Well, Larou has been the player they've called on when they've needed goals late, that super sub, but as Abby Wambach gets more and more games on those legs and the Achilles injuries and things that wear down as you get older, Larou might be the natural one to take her place, the understudy, and that pace up top, Morgan and Larou, is scary.
Heather O'Reilly on the end of this pass, this long raking pass from Carly Lloyd. Opportunity, Larou is in the area, here she is, early opportunity. Sydney Larou turns, the shot is blocked, it's still there for Rodriguez, edge of the penalty area, skill from Amy Rodriguez. Larou and Rodriguez both scored 5 goals in a single game during the qualifiers. And that pass from O'Hara, just wrong-footed Alex Morgan, who fell awkwardly, but she sees the funny side. Her reaction, Sydney Larou, when we scored that clinching goal in the 87th minute at St James's Park, Newcastle in the northeast of England. It made the score 2-0. It guaranteed a semi-final spot against Canada. Oh, she just went bonkers. Sprinting away, huge smile on her face towards the USA bench. Hope Solo telling us yesterday that it's the best team atmosphere she's experienced for the United States, and players like Larou who knew their role. She wasn't going to start any of the games. She waited patiently for every opportunity off the bench. O'Hara with a deep cross, Miranda with the catch. And Larou has pushed one of the defenders on the edge of the 6-yard box, and it's a free kick to Costa Rica. Miranda has stayed down there here with her left leg bent, and the trainer will come onto the field. She's been busy this afternoon, Erica Miranda. She made 7 saves by the 25-minute mark. Kyle, Abby Wambach off the field. Still wants to go on, 31 years of age, to the World Cup in 2015, but she's in great form right now, isn't she?
Well, you don't see her stopping anytime soon. I mean, she's playing some of her best soccer of her career, and you know, everyone's going to talk about the goals. 145 goals in 189 international appearances. That is an unbelievable strike rate, but her legacy will be the players she leaves behind up top. She's preparing Alex Morgan and Larou to be stars, and that's such a big thing. I remember when Brian McBride was coming to the end of his career for the U.S. men's team, it was Landon Donovan and some of the younger forwards that he worked with and he helped and he took under his wing and made them the players they are today and showed them how to be a professional day in and day out. And that's what Abby Wambach is doing for these young forwards that are going to take her place when she's gone.
That troublesome Achilles injury has been strapped up as well. She'll be patched up. She'll be a huge part of this fan tribute tour. She scored that crucial penalty in the semi-final against Canada with the United States trailing by 3 goals to nil. It was the first time in any international game they'd come back from 3 deficits. She told us yesterday she changed her mind at the penalty kick as well. She was going to go to Erica McLeod's left-hand side. Some firecrackers going off in the sky above us here at Sahlen Stadium. But then she decided at the last second, and you're told not to do that, Kyle, aren't you? Make your mind up, stick with your original decision. She changed her mind and it went in off the post. It couldn't have been more perfect in such a pressure situation.
Well, that's what separates players. I mean, it's such a mental game. You have players in practice that are roofing penalties in the top corner, players in practice that can 1 and 2 touch around the field, but in international moments in front of a crowd, when games are on the line, when medals are on the line, that's when you really see the difference in some players.
And it was her knowledge of the game as well. She was lobbying the referee. You remember Erica McLeod was pulled up for time wasting, taking longer than 6 seconds to get rid of the ball in her own penalty area. That's the law in the game. The referee felt that she was taking too many liberties. It turns out that she'd been warned at half-time as well from the ensuing free kick. Abby Wambach was always giving the referee the count. She said she counted 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, above 6 seconds. And in the end, it convinced the referee to blow for the free kick. From that free kick, there was a handball, a penalty kick, and Abby Wambach scored it to make it 3-3. And we all know how the game ended up 4-3 with a 123rd minute goal from Alex Morgan. Here comes Costa Rica. Drive comes in from Rodriguez. Lloyd an equal to it. But it was Abby Wambach's knowledge of the game, professionalism, and then ultimately her calm from the spot, which kept US hopes alive of a 3rd consecutive Olympic gold medal. Sydney Larou in pursuit, and she's through. Sydney Larou for the United States, and it's 6. Cool as you like from the substitute. A 9th international goal for Sydney Larou, and it's a slightly calmer response than we saw in the Olympic Games, but that was a wonderful finish.
Well, when I said earlier that this combination in the future is going to be scary, this is why. Look at how much ground she has to make up. The defender has 5 yards on her, gets by her, gets the touch, a positive first touch, improves her angle, and look at this. This last touch improves her angle, curls it in, side netting at top speed. This is a forward for the future.
Goal scored in the 78th minute.
There's the reaction from Abby Wambach. Inside the final 13 minutes here. The opening game of the Fan Tribute Tour for the United States. Gold medalists, of course, at the London 2012 Games. That epic victory over Japan in the final in front of 80,203 at the famous and storied Wembley Stadium. That's a record crowd for a women's soccer match at the Olympic Games, by the way. The United States have played in all 5 gold medal matches. You go way back to '96, they beat China by 2 goals to 1. Shannon McMillan and Tiffany Milbrit on the score sheet then. 2004, Abby Wambach got the winner in extra time to beat Brazil by 2 goals to 1. 2008, it was Carly Lloyd in extra time, 1-0 the score. Carly Lloyd with 2 in 2012 to beat Japan. It was a silver medal in 2000 against Norway, a 3-2 defeat. Tiffany Milbrit scored 2 goals in that game, the last time a US player has scored 2 in a final until Carly Lloyd with her brace, her double, on the hallowed turf of Wembley Stadium. Morgan, will the floodgates open in the final 10 minutes, I wonder here. The United States avoided extra time for a 4th consecutive final with that 2-1 win over Japan. They've only lost 2 Olympic matches in their history, both ironically to Norway in that 2000 final in Sydney, and a group match, the opening match of the 2008 games in Beijing. An absolute force when the Olympic rings are on show.
This is better from Alvarado. This is what we've wanted to see from her all game long, pulling the strings, 1 and 2 touch.
Almazan with a left-footed effort. That'll drift harmlessly wide.
Fans US Soccer in Salem Stadium, thank you for attending today's
US Soccer on NBC is presented by the Panasonic Tough Pad tablet, Fearless, and by Century 21. Century 21 is the official real estate company of the US Soccer national teams. A crowd of 13,208 being announced to the 13,208 in the sunshine. I think they've enjoyed themselves this afternoon. Sydney Larou with another forward run. The ball won't reach her this time though. Here's Heather O'Reilly, still battling away for her place at the top table of US women's soccer. Tobin Heath, Becky Sauerbrunn. Nicely played inside to Kelly O'Hara. Solid challenge by Maria Mugalde. Kelly O'Hara played every minute of the Olympic Games. Actually assisted Megan Rapinoe's rasping 25-yard shot in the semi-final against Canada. Pia Sundhage told us during the Olympic Games that Kelly O'Hara has grown tremendously as a player. Only her 26th appearance. She was a mainstay at left back during the entire tournament. A converted left midfielder. O'Hara. Drop to the feet of Alex Morgan. Yes, he does. Gets it back from Heath. Morgan, edge of the area. Close control from Alex Morgan. She's fouled on the edge of the penalty area. Alvarado just clipping her ankle. Morgan stays down. Concerning times for the United States.
Well, that's the trouble when you have really quick feet, is you take knocks all the time. You get to the ball before defenders. They think they've got a chance at it. And the quick feet of Alex Morgan will get there more times than not. And that follow through will take her right on the leg as it did there.
The United States only have 1 outfield substitute remaining. But as Pia Sundhage told us yesterday, Lauren Cheney is carrying an injury, so unlikely to see action today. Here's Carly Lloyd then. The hero from Wembley Stadium in the gold medal match. Opportunity for her. Lloyd kills it around the wall and into the back of the net. That's absolutely beautiful. She drops to her knees, Carly Lloyd, as she did after scoring the opening goal at Wembley. It's 7-0 to the United States.
Well, this is just too easy for her. Again, the wall doesn't jump. You have a wall that already is vertically challenged. No one gets off their feet. Nothing the goalkeeper can do about that as Carly Lloyd effortlessly curls that into the side netting. Terrific free kick.
39 international goals now for Carly Lloyd. Things just get better and better for her. Cruz. Almazan. Here's Amy Rodriguez for the United States. Tobin Heath. Kelly O'Hara. Keep ball for the USA. O'Hara advances. Plays it through towards Morgan. Alex Morgan, the angle's tight. The cross comes in. It is dangerous, but there are no United States players there. And Gabriela Guillen clears for a throw-in. Morgan appears to be running freely. Substitution to be made here by Costa Rica. Deanna Sainz of the University of South Florida will come out. What a big moment this is for 17-year-old Noelle Sands from Chaparral High School in Temecula, California. Also plays for the Legends FC club there. Had a chat to her yesterday. She said what a huge honor to play against the United States. She watched all the games. She's committed to the University of Alabama next fall. And she got in touch with her high school coach during the week, Maury Calchon, who gave me a scouting report. Alex Morgan hits the base of the post. Behind he goes for a goal kick. She told me she's an excellent attacker from the back. Noelle Sands, great dribbling skills. She's a real leader of their team. Well, Coach Calchon and club coach Josh Hodges have done a great job with Noelle Sands, who told us yesterday, thanks to those two for prepping me for this moment. Playing against the United States national team in front of 13,000 people and a nationwide television audience. Inside the final 5 minutes. Alvarado, one of the Costa Rican players who looks to be comfortable at this level. Rodriguez. Campos is wide on the left-hand side, closed down by Heather Mitz. Rampone concedes the throw in. One last substitution to be made here for Costa Rica. Yesmi Rodriguez will come into the game, but here's Kelly O'Hara for the United States. Amy Rodriguez. O'Hara again. Let's hear from Kate Margraf on this situation. Kate, is a big performance, 7 goals. It's a celebration of soccer here. You've played in these tribute tours. This would be a good start for them. They'll be happy with this, won't they, after that Olympic experience, which must have taken an awful lot out of them.
Well, the lack of adrenaline that you have usually coming into this game is not apparent. I think this is the best I've ever seen the women's national team play in this environment. Coming out, playing against Costa Rica, playing in front of a sold-out crowd, which definitely helped add the intensity of and the feeling of the match. But it's a great showing for the United States, and it's great that there's so many players on the team that got some minutes today.
That shot from Benavides was blocked. And as we look to the future, Kate, and this is a time to do it, it's the beginning of the end, if you like, of the Pia Sundhage era. Players like Sydney Larou, Tobin Heath, they've got bright futures in this side, haven't they?
Absolutely, especially Tobin Heath. In college, Pia Sundhage actually reached out to Anson Dorrance at University of North Carolina and said, can you put her at the 10 spot? I want her to be an attacking center midfielder. So there'll be lots of new players coming in. And with a new coach, this victory tour has taken on a whole...
Larou is clean through on the ball from Morgan. Sydney Larou, and it's a good save from Miranda. Still Sydney Larou, she can square it here, she does! And Heather O'Reilly gets in on the act. 8-0 to the United States. Delight on the face of Heather O'Reilly, a 35th international goal for her. And it matches the scoreline in the opening game between these two sides back in 2000. 8-0 the score.
Well, again, that pace over the top of Larou, perfect timing. Look at the separation she gets from that center back. Gets her head up. Not a great angle to shoot from here. Fortunate to see the rebound come back out to her. Composes herself, and then Heather O'Reilly, just get anything on it. Great follow-up run from Heather O'Reilly, and 8-0, you'd think it's 1-0 there. Everyone getting in on the fun, and Heather O'Reilly celebrating that one.
Last substitution for Costa Rica, Yesmi Rodriguez comes into the game. There she is, 18 years old. She's replaced Gabriela Guillen, the Creighton University left back, who will now fly back home to Omaha, Nebraska for a big game against Kansas tomorrow for the Blue Jays. thoroughly professional and entertaining performance from the United States women's national team here in front of a huge crowd who've come to celebrate their gold medal with them. And we're inside the final minute of the 90. And Kate Margraf, back to you to get your final thoughts on this game. It's a long victory tour, isn't it? But they're going to be delighted with their performance today.
Well, they're going to be happy, and it's a great stepping stone because now they're going to have to look towards the future because we have a brand new coach. You have to impress him or her. And now it's the time to get your feet moving again, get acclimated, and the next camp, it's go time.
More from Kate in the post-game show. It is an audition for all of these players now to impress a new coach. O'Reilly tips it through. Is this number 9? Alex Morgan. You can see the whites of the goalkeeper's eyes. And wide he goes with the left foot. There'll only be a minute of stoppage time, much to the relief, I'm sure, of the Costa Rican side. A chastening experience for them, but a learning experience. Alex Morgan with 1 goal today, taking her international tally to 31, her 2012 tally to 21. They call her baby horse in the squad because she gallops all over the field at such great pace. She's offside this time, though, Alex Morgan, from Diamond Rock, California. She had that 391-minute scoreless streak during the Olympic Games after scoring 2 against France in that comeback victory in the opening game, but she was always providing assists. A memorable one for Abby Wambach for the winning goal against North Korea at Old Trafford. And she, of course, assisted Lloyd for the opening goal in the gold medal match as well. But the big moment that most will remember from the Olympic Games for the United States, that 123rd minute header in extra time to avoid penalties and send the US to the final. What a fun afternoon it's been in Rochester. And it's all over. A convincing victory to kick off the fan tribute tour. Abby Wambach with 2 goals back at her home stadium amongst her friends and family. Goals number 144 and 145 of her career. Heather O'Reilly, she capped things off with the 8th goal of the afternoon. Smiles all round for the national team. On a mixed day for them, Pia Sundhage announced to them in their team meeting earlier this morning that she was stepping down after the next match of this tour. A smiling Pia Sundhage shakes hands with the officials. She'll head back to her homeland of Sweden, maybe for the national job there. We will wait and see. So as one era ends, another begins. Sydney Larou with her goal this afternoon off the bench for Abby Wambach. One of the bright young things of US women's soccer. Megan Rapinoe, 2 goals for her. She got us started with a lovely curling free kick in the first half. Talking of Pia Sundhage, she's with Kyle Martino.
Well, Pia, how much fun was that?
That was fun, especially the first half, and late in the second half had some combinations and 8 goals. You can't beat that.
Now, you delivered some tough news this morning to the team. How difficult was that decision to step down as the head coach of the U.S. soccer team?
I don't know for the players. For me, mixed feelings. But, you know, I just want to go home. At the same time, I think I'm pretty good to be here in the presence, so I really want to have a good game with those guys. And there will be 2 more games, and they've made me look good, and it's just phenomenal to be around those guys.
Well, so Sweden have a big tournament coming up, the Euro Championships. What are the odds we see you as the head coach of that team for that big tournament?
I hope that I will be coaching Sweden next year when they host the European Championship.
What memories do you take away from your time with the U.S. soccer team?
The team spirit and always coming back. And there is 2 situations. One, when Abby scores a goal against Brazil. For me, it's the best moment in my soccer life. And the other one is Wembley. And we win the Olympic gold medal, you know, in that wonderful stadium against Japan. It's hard to explain. It's just phenomenal.
Just a magical moment. Well, you gave these fans an incredible run, a gold medal. Congratulations on your success and good luck in the future.
Thank you very much.
Arlo?
Thanks, Kyle. Pia Sundhage What a character, a tremendous help to us at NBC during the Olympic Games as well. She called me the night before the gold medal match to tell me about the team change with Shannon Box coming back into the side. Now that's service. All smiles, Pia Sundhage, and as you heard her tell Kyle there, she hopes to be the coach of Sweden, who are a power in themselves. In time for the European Championships next year, she just wants to go home. But what a job she's done. Twice Olympic champions, runners-up memorably in the World Cup in 2011. The Pia Sundhage era for the US women's national team is drawing to a close.
To show my teammates what a real soccer stadium is supposed to look like.
So a victory for the United States to start their tribute tour at Salem Stadium in Rochester. They beat Costa Rica 8-0.